Why, hello there. Hey everyone, Andre here to talk Black Friday deals because Thanksgiving's almost here, which means Black Friday's just around the corner too. And Nintendo's not skimping this year. Look at all these games they're putting on sale at a pretty good discount. Let me get out of the way real quick so you can see what I'm talking about, because all these games are half off effectively, with the only exception of Nintendo Switch Sports, which normally retails for $50 physically, $40 digitally, so that's only $20 or $10 off depending how you buy it. But I would recommend the physical one, as it comes with a leg strap, whereas digitally it doesn't, of course. In any case, these are again some amazing deals for Switch 1 games, considering how often, or how seldom rather, Nintendo puts games on sale. And this is a pretty good collection of games. In particular, Mario Odyssey is amazing, especially if you like the recent DK Bonanza. I haven't played it. Definitely check out Mario Odyssey. Amazing game. And also Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door is a fantastic RPG that, unless you already own the GameCube one, I would recommend otherwise, as it's a fantastic game, whether it's your first one or not. So, anyways, beyond that though, I should clarify that these are only available at participating retailers, including, I believe, Best Buy, GameStop, Walmart, and maybe others. So definitely look at those stores or websites if you're looking for these deals, as the eShop does not have them. Moving on though, is the fact that we have a website from Nintendo which will tell you more about games like this, Switch 1 games in particular, because you may be wondering, hey, well, all these games work on Switch 2, and spoiler alert, yes, all these will, but what about other Nintendo Switch games? Well, Nintendo launched a brand new website which, let me go ahead and move myself down here for this, allows you to search for any game title to find out how it works on Switch 2, whether it works or doesn't, or there's issues or whatever else. So this seems really useful. So let's go ahead and try a game like, I don't know, Mario Odyssey. And I'll link to this description below as well if you want to check out this website for yourself. So there we go, Mario Odyssey, and look, it's fully supported and consistent with Nintendo Switch hardware or behavior, which is great. Although, interestingly, doesn't this game have a Switch 2 update? I'm surprised it doesn't mention that. I'm pretty sure it does, but maybe I'm mistaken on that. No, I know it does. So yeah, it's odd that it doesn't mention that. They probably should mention that. And similarly, let's look up Breath of the Wild, because that game is also compatible and is consistent with Nintendo Switch behavior, but doesn't mention the fact that there is a Switch 2 edition as well. So I would think that'd be useful information to have, just so consumers fully know, like, yeah, hey, it works fine, but if you want an even better version that runs at double the frame rate and higher resolutions and has more, you can pick that up. Now, so far, every game has been working just fine, but if we try a game that we know won't work, like, let's say, Labo VR. Uh-oh, it didn't even come up in the search. Why? Let's try just Labo instead. There we go, now the VR kit shows up. So I don't know what happened to the Labo VR search. Nintendo should probably fix that, but in any case, let's click on the Labo VR, and look, it is in fact incompatible, and it tells us why, because the Switch 2 system is too big to fit in the Toy-Con VR goggles cardboard kit. So that's interesting. Not a huge surprise, we already knew that, but that's still good to know. What is interesting to me though, is if you click into the other Toy-Con kits, the other Labo kits, we can see that all of them apparently work. This is actually news to me. I thought that they had issues, but I guess they don't. We can see in the image that they are all using the original Nintendo Switch hardware, the Joy-Cons and the Switch 1 screen. Will the Switch 2 all fit fine into those, or do you need Switch 1 Joy-Cons? This is where having more information would actually help, whether or not there are issues, because I assumed that it wouldn't work, and maybe my assumption was incorrect, or maybe Nintendo got it wrong. I don't know. I'll look into this more, and if I find an update, I'll let you know I'll pin a comment about it or something. So yeah, I mean, this is still good. This seems like good news. I just wish there was a little bit more information here. Like, it would be good to have that clarification that, yeah, Switch 1 or Switch 2 Joy-Cons and screens work just fine. So, will the Switch 2 fit into that piano up there? Or that, or the fishing rod? I don't know. Anyways, let's move on to something else, because we know Labo VR isn't compatible, which brings up an interesting issue, because, what am I doing compatible? If we look up Captain Toad, it actually wasn't that far off, a game that, after the launch of Labo VR, got a free Labo VR update, we can see that, well, the game's supported, but it doesn't mention anything about Labo VR not working, and it probably should, because that is a part of the game now, and it doesn't work on Switch 2, because it physically won't fit into the Labo VR set, and yet it doesn't mention anything about that, so they definitely could use more information here. And actually that applies to Breath of the Wild as well, which also had a VR option, and it didn't mention anything about it not being compatible. Now, it is possible that the upcoming The Virtual Boy accessory will fix that if that's backwards compatible with other games. But still, that's still another accessory you have to pay for, and it's not an obvious solution either, so they should probably clarify that. I just wish I had more information in general at points. Alright, so far everything we've been looking up has been compatible, by and large. Let's try, besides Labo VR, but let's try some games we know had issues before. I'm doing it again. Let's try a game, some chicken game. Chicken, what was it called? Chicken, what was it? It's like Chicken War or something? Nope, not Toki-Tori. Actually, let's check Toki-Tori. I think that's fine. Yeah, fully supported. Where's that chicken game? There we go, Chicken Madness. This game is unsupported. Problems with game progression have been found. So I love that. The fact that it tells us specifically what the issue is. It's like, yeah, it may work, but, you know, you're going to have an issue getting too far into it, so probably don't chance it. And I like the, you know, warning sign there, too. Let's try another game that I knew had issues before. Clock Tower had an issue in the past. Let's see if that's still a problem. So we click into Clock Tower Rewind. It says it's supported, and it tells us specifically that this was updated on 6/19 of this year, as a previously identified issue has been resolved with an update. That's awesome. That's great news. So the issue I had before no longer is an issue. Finally, let's go check out another game that had a problem before, being Crash Bandicoot. Would it crash your Switch too? Crash Bandicoot. Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy. Once again, we can see it's fully supported now because it was updated on the same day, 6/19, where a previously identified issue has been resolved with an update. So this is all good news. This is a pretty handy website, though. It would be nice if it would just provide a full list of games that are incompatible or fully compatible. I know those lists exist elsewhere on Nintendo.com, but you know, why not just link to it from the main page? In any case, this is still a really useful website, though I wish I had more information in some cases, like with Labo and the VR stuff specifically, and maybe even others I'm not even thinking of. But still useful, so if there's any game you're curious about, make sure you go here and look into it yourself, and keep an eye on the games that aren't compatible so you can see whether they become compatible down the line or not. But there you have it, everyone, our look at this new website and the upcoming Black Friday deals. Let us know in the comments below what you think of all of this. Are you going to be picking up any game? What game are you buying? Let me know. I want to know what you're buying. And with that, I'm out. See you guys. Bye.